At Milton Primary Academy, we understand the importance of reading. It's really vital that every child in our school is able to read so they can succeed in later life. To ensure that this is the case, we have a robust synthetic programme of phonics that we teach on a daily basis from nursery to year 2. Today we're going to show you what that looks like in our classrooms and what you can do to help your child at home to become a fluent reader.
In nursery, at the beginning of the year, we focus on environmental sounds. We go on lots of walks outside and listening to the road, listening to the aeroplanes, listening to the birds, listening to the leaves blowing in the trees. And by the end of nursery, we like children to begin to recognise all the sounds in the alphabet and all the sounds in their name.
To help your nursery child at home, start by listening for sounds that you can hear in the environment around you. Ask them to close their eyes and listen carefully and identify what they can hear around them. This will be really useful when the children start to look at simple words and they can identify the initial sound within that word. Once they are secure with the sounds around them, start to introduce them to different objects that they may not hear on a regular basis, like instruments. What you can even do is use YouTube and search for different sounds, and this will give you some ideas for what your child could identify that they may not have heard before.
Yes, I can hear something else as well, and I think it's coming from behind me, so close your eyes and listen.
The next step is to introduce your child to some initial letter sounds. So for example, k, a, t. This will help your child to start to hear how the words are made up and to identify some of the letters they will hear. It's really useful as well if you start to introduce them to some of the letters that appear in their name, as they will see this most often during their time in nursery.
When children come into reception, they should be hearing sounds in the environment and being able to say what these sounds are. They should recognise some sounds, what we call our initial sounds, that are sounds of the alphabet, so m, a, s. And children should be beginning to what we call orally segment. So if you say to your child, go and put it in the b, I, n, children should be starting to hear that the b, I, n is the bin. And we work on all these skills with the children when they come in. By the end of reception, children will have worked hard and they will be reading. They should be blending their words together, including what we call the digraphs and trigraphs. So digraphs are 2 letters, 1 sound, such as oi, a, R, and the trigraphs such as I and air. So when they read, they should see these words in the book and be able to blend with them. There should be up to set 15 of the tricky words that we send home, and they should be becoming confident readers.
When your child joins reception, they will be given a keyring which has all of the letter sounds that they need to practice at home. These will be changed so that your child's keyring is up to date and it is focusing on the letter sounds that they need to practice. Once they're secure with their letter sounds, start to practice blending with your child. First, segment the word into the individual letter sounds, so b, a, g. Speed it up so it becomes clearer for the child what the word could be, b, a, g. And once you speed this up, the children start to hear how they can blend the words back together to hear the word bag. Once your child is secure with the letter sounds, they will start to be introduced to 2 letters that make 1 sound. This is called a digraph. For example, sh, which is made up of s and h. Once the children are taught this, they start to see them within words. Alongside digraphs and trigraphs, your child should be learning tricky words, or red words as they may also be known. These are words that cannot be phonetically sounded out.
In year 1, the children will continue to learn their digraphs and trigraphs, and then they will move on to alternative sounds. For example, the first sound we teach has got the IR in the middle of a word for twirl and whirl, and then they will learn the ER sound, which is at the end of the word for better letter. Following on from this, they will then learn how to spell words correctly, And then at the end of year one, all children will sit the phonics assessment, which is a mixture of real and alien words.
In year one, our primary goal is for all children to sit and pass the year one phonics screen. To pass the phonics screen, the children will be asked to read 40 words, which are a mixture of real words they may have encountered before, and alien words, which are words that are made up. During lessons, we expose children to sounds they may not have been taught before, or sounds that they need to recap based upon assessment. From this, we then apply them into real words and alien words so the children are used to seeing these before they sit the phonics screen. If you would like to help your child at home with these, there are fantastic websites you can use such as Phonics Play with games like Ob and Bob and Find the Treasure. The children will also look at alternate ways of making the same sound using different letters, and this is where the end of year one finishes for phonics. There are lots of ways in which you can support your child at home with both reading and writing to be able to identify sounds in words and to be able to read fluently. In the example of ship, you can underline the digraph sh and then put dots underneath the I and the p to make ship. The trigraph I here is in the middle of night, so you would dot, line and dot. For longer words, add the dots and the dashes to help your child to be able to segment and then blend the word. The split digraph is one of the trickier sounds, as seen here in cake. You can see that we ask for the A to be joined to the E on the end to make the A sound complete. The children will then explore where different sounds appear in words. So A in play is at the end, A in snail is in the middle, and came is in the middle. And finally, the children will be able to segment alien words and read them fluently. It's really important that you continue to read with your child all the way through year one. You can read to them, read with them, or even have a sibling read with them. This will help them to increase their speed of fluency, which will help them to understand when they answer comprehension questions in year two.
At the end of year one, the children will sit a phonics screen. Any children that didn't pass the phonics screen as they enter year two will have small group phonics interventions to make sure that they learn all of the necessary sounds to read fluently.
In year two, it's still important that children access phonics. They use it for spelling and also when reading more difficult texts. To support your child in year two, if they come across a word that they aren't familiar with, have a go at sounding it out for them. This will help them to hear each of the individual sounds and then be able to blend them back together to make the word complete. When your child comes across a word they also do not know how to spell, ask them to sound it out. By segmenting the word, this may help them to come across a sound that they're missing when spelling a new word.
Let's see those tongues. Lovely!
We hope you found it useful to have an insight into how we teach phonics at Milton Primary. We believe at Milton that reading is the key to success, and we believe every child has the right to become a confident and fluent reader. We invest heavily in high-quality books to support their development in phonics, but in addition to encourage them to develop a love of reading that carries forward with them for life. If you have any questions regarding your child's phonics development, please do not hesitate to contact your child's class teacher, who will be more than happy to discuss it with you.